Am again. Cruise along the road. Are you woke? Are you woke? If not, this is your wake-up call. Okay? This is your wake-up call. Got a couple videos so far. If you like them, remember, like everybody else says, hit the subscribe and hit the bell. You know the drill. What I want to talk about now is all this Trumpism. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And of course, the obfuscation and the ignorance. Yeah, the ignorance that white people display like they do at race. Oh, I don't know nothing. See no evil, hear no evil. Put the fingers in your ear. I don't know nothing. Well, I had somebody speaking to me about, or they were telling me they were arguing with someone on Facebook about all this. And I was just telling her, just go through the chronology for the morons. And then I heard this morning about, I went to sleep and I woke up and they had some YouTube channel was re-recording or playing some of the hearings about the FISA court and all the rest. So I want to go over just a short chronology of what's happening so you can see this guy is crooked. And if you don't believe this, then you're one of those guys when your wife comes in the house and everyone's saying that they saw her at dinner, say, with your adversary. And she says, I don't remember doing that. And, oh, yeah, I was, but I don't remember. Because it's the same kind of analogy. It's analogous to that. All right? Before Trump was even elected, he had a guy working, or Michael Flynn was the guy, right? FBI doing their job, says this guy, he looks dirty, right? He looks dirty because we got a report from a foreign agent in Britain about this guy. Now understand, when you go to the FISA court, it's a legitimate judge, it's a court. You can't go there for a search warrant or a warrant to eavesdrop, which is what we're talking about, unless you have some substantial information. It had to be more than just a report from a foreign agent from Britain. That has to be added to the aggregate, but is not the total of the decision making. They're going to ask that FBI agent, well, what more do you got? What did you guys do to add to the pot before I give you this warrant that you could eavesdrop this guy? As it turned out, Flynn had worked for Obama, and Flynn had found out from the FBI that this guy was dirty, working with the Russians. So Obama fired him. More about that. But it turns out, this Flynn guy has got an office that he's working in, and that office is in Trump Tower. In fact, just down the hall from Trump's office. Fancy that. But that could be still innocuous. Maybe Trump doesn't know. Maybe. Right? But they get the FISA warrant and they begin to wiretap him at the office. And that's where the wiretapping came in. When you hear them, oh, Trump, wiretap me. Trump didn't do it. The FBI did it, doing their job. Doing their job. As they would do with anybody. All right. So Trump gets elected. All the while they're investigating this Flynn guy. He and everyone else around him can't remember that they were dealing with the Russians. So when they get their forms they have to fill out for security clearance, I had to fill out one, a minor one, mind you, back in the day. Very minor, but they want to know if you owe any money, do you work for as a foreign agent, are you homosexual? Back then they asked you if you were homosexual or you're on drugs or an alcoholic, whatever, because those things might be weaknesses that if you were confronted by somebody, they might turn you and make you an agent against the United States. So before you were even access to classified information to make sure that you don't have any weaknesses that would cause you to be a problem. So, but before we get to that, before we get to all that, Trump's son-in-law and son fly over to Russia, and they're trying to get information on Hillary, the servers. Mind you, this is right after the speech Trump gave, where he promised or offered or asked the Russians to do that very same thing. Get some information on Hillary, get some dirt on Hillary. And the next day that they discover, or they let out, that, hey, Bernie Sanders had won the primary, and the election should have been with Bernie Sanders versus Trump, but Hillary Clinton and her feminazis, had stole it from Bernie Sanders, the mail. They stole it. Right? And so then we know subsequently that the race then became between Trump and Hillary, but it should have been between Trump and Bernie, had not have been stolen. And that's how we found out, because the servers were breached by the Russians. All right? So, that's where we are now. His son-in-law and his son fly out to Russia to try to get some information. They tell us that didn't bear much fruit. But when Trump gets elected, and Obama's still in the office, they haven't met yet, they haven't transferred power, they haven't had the inaugural, they also try to call Russia, and they try to use the phones at the Russian embassy, because they don't want to use the secure communications in the United States, or any phones in the United States, because they might be listened into. Now, that right there tells you there's a problem. If you don't act like there's a problem, then why are you acting like there's a problem? Okay. And then subsequently, as I said, when they were asked about all this, they had to fill out the forms. Nobody can remember that they had any dealings with Russia. That right there makes you guilty. You can't sit there and honestly and say, well, this is all made up, it's fake news, it's a witch hunt. Why are you acting? Why are you covering up? When God came into the Garden of Eden and they're all covered up with grape leaves, they're saying, well, why are you covered up with grape leaves? What do you got to cover up for? You're guilty of something. Well, same here. All right? So that's the part that we're talking about here. Guess what? Subsequent time later, Trump calls the Ukrainian guy, and even before quid pro quo, just calling and asking for help is illegal. That right there is enough. The man's already broken the rules of the emoluments for all you Trumpsters. He should have been impeached for that long ago. The fact that we have to go through all these hoops is because of you. They blame the Republican politicians. I don't blame them. I blame you people who vote for this moron and still support him. Hell, get rid of him and put Pence in. You have you don't have a leg to stand on supporting this guy. He is the most crooked guy. You want to give him credit for things that he's not done. Yeah, the things he's done you wanted him to do, like is removing the 1800s, the first civil rights legislation, along with the 14th and 15th Amendment to protect black people from after slavery. Well, the Trump administration has eviscerated that. And I'll get into that sometime later in another video. Yeah, he's eviscerated that. That's the kind of thing you want, because you are racist. You are racist. And you want, and what he's doing, and he's being a racist, and that's what you want. And for that, you will lie and attribute every good thing to him. It took Ronald Reagan 4 years to turn a sagging economy around. It took Barack Obama almost as much time to save us from the abyss of economic collapse. Like nearly 3 years to sort of get things turned around. Right? These things don't happen overnight. It took Reagan 4 years and Obama almost as much time. And Reagan didn't have near the collapse that Obama was facing. So we just had a real bad recession. You know, people were selling their homes up and down the street where I lived. And was it McMurray or no? We were living in Nottingham Township at that time. And people were just up and down the street, every home and every other home 3, 4 homes at a time were being sold. People were just losing money left and right. This is when Carter was in, before Reagan came in. It takes a while to turn that around. All right. And Obama wanted to do the same things that Reagan did. He was a fan of Reagan's economic policy, and the Republicans fought him tooth and nail about everything, even tax cuts. Tax cuts with the provision that before you get your tax cut, you raise your wages to your workers, you hire more people, you buy and lease more equipment, and that will get the economy going up. Then you'll get your tax break on the back end. These Republicans now are just giving out tax breaks, and all these corporations are turning that into, or rebuying their stock, which is creating a bubble, because that's not how true economics works. But that's another argument for another video, talking about this crooked Trump that you Republicans are all in bed with. I went and talked to some. They all tend to be lacking in intellectual capacity as well. And I was with one that was an idiot. You're driving down the road, you saw this construction going on the highways. And I asked him, I says, you think this is Trump? Trump's in office. He goes, yeah, this is Trump. I said, no. Every time when these big projects are widening the highway, all that, it takes years to get that approved and ready. It takes some time to get the bids. You have to do a lot of research about the impact on the environment, the bonding, the financing, getting it together, getting contracts for the materials. That takes time to do all that. Get the banking together. You have to survey the land. Engineers and architects are involved. And even with AutoCAD, it takes a while to get all that done, just to get the project approved. You're seeing projects now that were approved back in either the first or second term of Obama. They're now just, bringing bulldozers out and digging up the soil and working on these projects. So, what about Trump? Well, you're not getting anything from Trump. Remember, he walked out of Pelosi, and those other politicians were never trying to get an infrastructure bill produced. So we don't have any infrastructure bills, or projects rather, from Trump. We have none. Not the wall, nothing. Not that we need a wall. I mean, the Chinese proved the wall doesn't work. And this is before airplanes. But that's another video for you dumb people, for the short bus people. No, we should have impeached this guy long ago. And I am upset because we don't have anybody to go to. We don't have, none of the Democrats. They're all for gun control and abortion. And a bunch of other stupid things. Yes, we need health care for all. But no one seems to have any backbone to start making rich people pay their fair share of taxes. And what I can understand rich people saying, oh, don't tax me, I don't want to pay my fair share. I want to have the 2 mansions, one in France, one in the United States, and a vacation home down in Florida. I understand all that. They need to have like 4 Rolls Royces and all the rest of it, and a Lamborghini and the Teslas. They have all that stuff. I understand. It's wrong, it's greed, but I understand that. But what I don't understand, when working class people like myself, my equal, look at me and they're like, don't want them to pay taxes, and they're sitting there, what, are you a nut? What kind of nut job are you? The same nut jobs that vote for Trump and support Trump, right? Just like there are nut jobs on the other side who wanted Hillary Clinton to win. And she's proven herself to be no different than Trump with this woman. Yeah, this woman is a scoundrel in Hawaii, but she made just some specious claims she had no facts on, the same way Trump does the same thing. She just threw it out there. Heck, the woman wasn't even up above, Gabbard wasn't even enough in the running of being an issue. She could have kept her mouth shut. The woman wasn't going anywhere. Why would you even speak out? But when, just like Trump, she is just like Trump, only she's the female version. And him, he's got more female energy than any of the gay friends I have. I have gay male friends that don't have near the female energy of Donald Trump. I mean, he's just this Obama thing and everything else. He's just so weak. I'm better. You don't have to say that if you really are. I wish Obama would have rung his own bell tooted his own horn more. And so people know that these bridges and everything that's being built on the highway came from him. You know, but I guess it wouldn't matter. I mean, he's black, and people are not. I've told people back when he was the president, if he'd have squatted and a golden bullion would have came out of his butt to help our economy, you know, Hannity would have came on and found criticisms of it. He would have criticized them for it. And white people in their way. You know, because I grew up with people. I'm not prejudiced, it's just that. I'm not prejudiced, but, well, you're prejudiced. You know, just hypocrites. I respect you more if you just had a Klan uniform. And I do respect those people. You know, if you're out there with I mean, you're wrong, and you're wrong as wrong can be, but if you're sitting there going, Zeke how, and I support Trump, and I'm a racist, I respect you more than the liars. I'm not racist. And here you are supporting Trump. He's not a racist. Yeah, he's a racist. He's passed laws and things, like I said, he's eviscerated civil rights legislation that's already been passed. So, getting tailgated by a woman on her phone. These women. Superior gender, my ass. So anyway, that's all I have to say about this. Like I said, you're going to be pissed off. Many of you, if you're a Trump supporter, you're supposed to be Christians, but you know the Bible speaks of in the latter days that man being mankind, will prefer a lie over the truth. And boy, do we see it with Trump. I mean, we have people being torn from their parents, and these people call themselves Christians that support that. Mind you, these people are Christians on the border. These are all Christians. They're not communists. They're not pagans. They are Christians, but their skin is brown. So you're going to bring up, well, you got to go through this process and do this. They're Christians. Nothing in the Bible about any of that if they weren't Christians, but definitely they're Christians. And you're denying them coming into this country, which is illegal, by the way. Because the way the law is written is, if you're coming here seeking sanctuary, all you got to do when you get into the country hook by crook, hook or crook. However you get into the country, then the next thing you do is you go to a law enforcement official, whoever they may be, border patrol, whatever, and you seek asylum. But that's another video. I think I touched on it on our previous one. But that's how it's done. And you have a court case to determine the validity of that, finder of fact, and if it's true, you're in. If it's not, you get sent back. That's how the law works. You don't put a wall up and keep them from coming into the country. But that's another argument for another day. All right, so I'm going to post this when I get a chance. I'm going to be out of town for a while. You know, maybe 2 weeks, maybe down to Virginia, down, South Carolina and so forth. I'll be around there. So I'll get around to it when I get a chance to post this. Maybe post a couple more.